There it is. Now it's
Yeah,
live.
got a
All right.
notification.
So we're live. We just went live. Hopefully we can stay live this time. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. We're going to do this the old-fashioned way. We're going to do it on Hangouts on Air, which I haven't used in God knows how long. We used to use it to run the show, but I haven't actually streamed on it in quite some time. But we already got one thumbs up. Hopefully that's Evan, and then we got two, and that was me. So welcome back. We made it. We're back. Yes, we are back. Technical difficulties halted us before.
Yep.
But they are not going to get the best of us this time, hopefully. We'll see what happens. It is raining, so if things go downhill again, might have to reschedule, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so welcome back, guys. As you join into the stream, we'll get this started the way it should be started. We'll introduce ourselves. Evan, I'll let you go first, and then I'll introduce myself, and then we'll just pick up right where we left off on some questions.
All right. Well, my name's Evan, a.k.a. Bucks Football, or Mr. Bucks Football, as Rhett would like to call me.
Best in the business.
And I run the #1 Buccaneers fan page on Instagram. Many of you know. It's why many of you are here. I've been putting it out, and I've been receiving a lot of your questions, and full to have to be able to interact with all you guys. So keep sending in questions. Like I said, we're going to be doing these Q&As periodically throughout the season. So it's not going to be a normal thing, but it's going to be pretty awesome when it does happen. So if connection, if that holds up with us, it should be no problem now. But anyways, can't wait to answer some of your guys' questions tonight. And now I'm going to send it over to my other half there.
Yeah, we are running on hopes and dreams right now. We can get this going, though. Connection is looking a lot better. There's a lot of good feedback. There's already people in the chat. But I'll introduce myself really quick, and then we will get started on this bad boy. What's going on, guys? My name is Rhett. You may know me as Redicus. That's how I introduce myself onto the show. And I am the other half of the Cannon Fire podcast, running the technical things over here a little bit more. So we'll call it the tech guy, but love hosting the show with Evan. I've been a Bucks fan. I've been a Bucks fan since I was younger, but I can say that I really, really bought into the team in 2010. We'll say 2010 because I had season tickets with my uncle, so we would go to all the home games. The only home game I didn't go to that year was Pittsburgh. But it was a good season because I got to see the games when they were blacked out. So if you remember the blackout phenomenon in the Bucks earlier seasons, then you can say you've been around for a little while. So I'm like right there. I'm right there. I've been around for a little while. I'm like a rookie. But let's jump into these questions, guys. We had some questions left over from the last stream that we'll touch on again. Coming right off of the bat, though, in the live stream chat, Max Malaya said, do you think we can beat the Dolphins? Yeah. We can go in there and we can smash the Dolphins. I said it before. Next question, that's going to be a dub. But I really do think we can beat the Dolphins. I think we can go in there and we can walk out with a pretty comfortable win. Maybe 10 points, maybe 1 or 2 possession. But, I said before, I think it's going to be a game that doesn't come down to it, but it's going to be a game where something happens and the win is secured like that. A pick on the last drive for Miami as they're about to score. Just something like that. Something like Levante David has pulled in the past. I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be entertaining. It'll be great to see our rookies out there in a game day atmosphere that isn't preseason. So I think we could walk out with the dub, yeah. But, Evan, I'll toss it to you. We'll talk about how you feel.
I think that they're winning Miami. I'm not going to give the official prediction, but I think it's going to be a very close game. And it's not going to be an easy one, that's for sure. I mean, Miami still made the playoffs last year, even though they did have a pretty easy schedule, in my opinion. Jay Cutler, you got to hit him. If you hit him, you win. If you don't hit him, it's going to be a long day, and I don't think the Bucs will win if they don't get a pass rush. They have to get a pass rush. Luckily, I do think they will get a pass rush, and I think they'll walk out 1-0 and off to a good start to the year.
So 1-0 for the Bucks heading out of Miami. That's the final consensus here on the stream. Really quick, next question we'll cover in the live stream, and then we'll jump to some DM questions that we had before the show. Evan Crouch said, did Riley get waived? That's a question for you, Evan, because I honestly haven't really been following the cuts that we've made. I knew George Johnson got waived and a couple of other small name guys, but I haven't really seen any bigger cuts. Victor Cruz got cut. That surprised me. But Evan, the question was, did Riley get waived?
No, he did not. Not yet, at least. Still has Saturday. I believe 4 is the deadline, I believe. He can be cut pretty much anytime tomorrow. And I think I'm not going to give you my prediction of what happens because I know somebody actually sent in that question, so I'm going to wait a little bit. Well, if you already saw my Instagram story, you know what I think. But if you haven't, then I'm gonna wait a tad. He's a good player, but just lacks coverage skills as much as they would like him to. As of now, Riley Bullough is still a member of the Bucks. It could change very quickly, though. I mean, I could get a notification right now. I don't think so, but anything can happen anytime now until Saturday at 4.
God, that's a scary thought, is that something could happen before the end of the stream. So basically, we are going to pick up from live stream questions and we're going to move to the DM questions. Evan, I'll throw that over to you, my man. We'll see what happens with the DM questions, and then we'll just pick right back up. Glad to see you guys back on the stream supporting. If you haven't already, make sure you leave a thumbs up and subscribe. We did hit 43 subscribers today. Thank you guys very much. And hopefully we can hit that number on iTunes here in the future. But now for some DM questions. Evan, Mr. Bucks Football, that's all you, buddy.
All right. Well, we already answered the TJ Ward question that was sent in by DM. Just possibility of him signing. If he were to get cut, I said 30%. I believe Rhett said 70%. Not
yeah, 65, 70. We'll say it's like a C+, C-. C-,
okay.
Yeah.
And the next question, I can't read the exact question, but I know what the question was because I'm on face cam on my phone right now, so I don't know what would happen if I got off. So what I know the question was, one of the questions was, do we beat Miami, which we already answered. And the other question was, how confident are you in the team this year? I'm confident in them. I think they're a 10-win football team. I think there's enough talent on this team. I think they've gotten better than last year, and they won 9 games last year. So if injuries don't happen, if key injuries don't happen in key positions, I think they're primed for a very, very good season. So my confidence level is probably on a scale of 1 to 10. It's probably about a 9.
Probably about a 9. If I had to jump on there and give you a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say maybe 8. Only because I'm very confident. If you told me wild card, I'd tell you 10 out of 10. I'm very confident that we can reach wild card. When it comes to maybe winning the division, that's where I'm a little rocky because it is going to be a little bit of a tough division this year. You've got Carolina proving that they need to bounce back from the team that they were 3 years ago. You know, they ran the South, and a lot of people seem to forget that. A lot of people treat the Panthers like a team who wasn't just at the Super Bowl 2 years ago. You've got the Falcons coming back, obviously, maybe not going to be showing symptoms of the Super Bowl hangover, but they say that every year. So we'll see what happens. If we're talking records, I see 11-5. I see 11-5 with a wild card, or 10-6 with a wild card. I see at least 10 wins this season for the Pewter Pirates.
I think 11-5 may win you that division, honestly. If they win the head-to-head versus the Falcons and some of the tiebreakers, I think Atlanta's going to go 11-5. They got a tough schedule, a couple tough games, so I think they're going to go 11-5. Depending on the tiebreakers, if I think the Bucks are going to go 10-6 and get a wild card, but if they were to go 11-5, that would be very interesting to see what kind of tiebreakers. And then that's where division opponents, you got to beat them, you know. And one team you didn't mention. The one team you didn't mention that actually got better was the New Orleans Saints as well. I mean, they've gotten better as well. So, I think the Falcons will win the South, but I think the Bucs will be a close second. And like I said, if it's Bucs 11-5, Falcons 11-5, and let's say just for purposes they both split, it would really come down to how the Bucs performed against Cam Newton and the Panthers and the Saints. So, and they've they haven't swept through the division in quite some time. They swept the Panthers last year, but they haven't swept more than 2 divisional opponents in a long time. I remember the year before, Jameis Winston's rookie year, they swept Atlanta. Last year, they swept Carolina. Maybe they'll sweep New Orleans this year. Who knows? But the best case scenario would be just to sweep Atlanta.
And we are picking up right where we left off on the DM questions. I'll have the next one. This was sent in by 500_my nephew. Said, why is our GM afraid to take chances such as making trades or sign Joe Hayden, for instance? Joe Hayden wasn't a pick that was going to be in our favor anyways. We know that. We have depth at the cornerback position, kind of, but we really weren't going to spend that much money on Joe Hayden. If we could snag him for a steal, then we would. But you could just see he went to Pittsburgh. He got paid by Pittsburgh. Not that he wasn't making good money before, but we don't really have the opportunity to throw that money around like that. And that's what it comes down to every year, whether it's you're talking the owners, you're talking the Glazers, whether you're talking the GM situation. It always comes down to money. And the Bucs are a team that if they can save cap space any way they can, unless it's an entirely new team rebuild, they will save that money. For example, why we didn't sign Joe Hayden. For example, why we didn't sign a guy, why we haven't signed TJ Ward yet. We're looking to get a steal on TJ Ward. If the Buccaneers can secure a good price and just a good number for a Pro Bowl safety like TJ Ward, it'll happen. But really, it just nickel and dime. It comes down to money. That's plain and simple when it comes to the Bucs organization and the decision making when it comes to signing and trading and everything like that. It's a basic question, but it can never be too basic, I guess. It's a universal question or universal answer. But Evan, I'll toss it to you, man. How do you feel about the Bucs GM? And I actually got to take a phone call really quick, so I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, I'll take it under control here. Anyways, the thing about it is really, well, for one, Rhett was actually a bit incorrect. Well, T can't sign TJ Ward yet because he has not yet been released by the Broncos. Still need a trade for him. But it's likely that he will be released if they can't find a trade partner. Fans get really frustrated when a superstar is available, but the Bucs aren't interested because they think that, not all fans, but some fans think that the Bucs have to get every superstar, and that's not the case. You look at Super Bowl teams. This isn't the NBA. You can't, in the NFL, you can't make a super team. You just can't. It's not really possible, if you want me honest. You can't build a super team that is 11 guys on offense that are all-stars and 11 guys on defense that are all-stars. It doesn't work like that. So you got to pick your spots where you want to spend. This offseason, the Bucs wanted to spend at wide receiver, and the Bucs wanted to spend at defensive tackle. Now, am I going to say I don't think Light's scared? Light's definitely not scared. Just look at what he did. He's not scared to cut a guy, that's for sure. I also think Light's taking a big risk with drafting guys. He's not scared, I'll tell you that. If he was scared, he wouldn't have drafted a kid who had rape allegations against him with the number 1 overall pick. I guarantee you he would not have picked him if he was going to be scared the whole time. So really, back to that question, Joe Hayden, to Rhett's point, did want a lot of money. He was making a lot of money in Cleveland and did get paid by Pittsburgh. And let me ask you this. You can sign Joe Hayden, but when you sign Joe Hayden, don't be all upset when you can't sign Marpet to a contract extension and he walks in free agency. Or you can't sign Quan Alexander to a contract extension and he walks in free agency. Don't get upset. That's what Light's prepping his team for. I don't expect much in next year's free agency because I think they know they have Jameis Winston, Quan Alexander, Ali Marpet, Donovan Smith, plus Mike Evans. these guys. And they also got to give money to role players. I mean, Cam Brate's going to be getting some money soon. Adam Humphries going to be getting some money soon. So plus you got to sign draft picks. Plus you can't just not sign any free agents. So they got to have some room for that as well. So it's definitely tricky, but I have all the confidence in the light. I'll just put it that way.
He's a smart guy, and he's proven that he is a smart guy in the past. He's made a lot of smart decisions, and as you said, he's made a lot of risky decisions. You can't say that he's scared. You cannot say that he's scared. As you said, drafting Jameis, a quarterback who was in the public eye, who had a lot of negative feedback on him. He came in, drafted Jameis. This whole team had faith in Jameis, and Jameis is now top 15 quarterback in the league. And it comes down to taking those risks. And Light's, as you said, he's not afraid to cut anybody either. You saw in Hard Knocks, you saw the way he cut Roberto Aguayo when he had to do it. Something that's been brought up before. Here and again, there's a lot of positive and negative traits when it comes to the GM position, but it's definitely not as bad as it's ever been. Don't even talk about Quan in any way leaving. That makes me paranoid. Quan's not leaving. Quan's not leaving anytime soon. Unless they shorten him a lot of money, Quan Alexander is not going to be walking out. Ali Marpet, and all of this is hypothetical. We're just talking hypothetical situations. But we will jump into some more DM questions. Actually, sorry about that. We have got a live stream question. Max Maleo, once again, who wins third wide receiver? Evan, who wins third wide receiver?
Adam Humphries, just because of the experience aspect of it. Chris Godwin's looked very good, and I guarantee you one thing. Okay, Adam Humphries will never be the number 2 wide receiver on his team. Obviously, I'm not talking about injuries. I'm talking about just to everybody's healthy. Adam Humphries will never be the number 2 wide receiver. In 5 years, the 2 starting receivers on the Bucs, Evans, and number 2 will be Chris Godwin. I don't know who the 3 receiver would be, but that's what the Bucs are grooming Chris Godwin to be. They're grooming him to be the replacement for D-Jack once D-Jack leaves, because that's only a 3-year deal, but it's pretty much a 2-year deal because his guaranteed money ends after 2 years. So they're going to give Godwin time. They're going to still play him. He's going to play a lot, and Godwin is getting groomed to be the second number 2 wide receiver. So I think right now Hump gets the 3rd spot, but Godwin will get lots of looks.
I like to agree with you there. I like to also believe that maybe they might mix things up a little bit. Maybe it won't be a steady spot. Maybe we'll see, I don't want to say even playing time, but maybe we'll see a little bit more Chris Godwin than people think we will. He's a 2nd-round pick. He showed a lot of highlights in the preseason. He has potential to go out there and make plays, but like you said, Adam Humphries will never be number 2. And another reason to look at it like that, it's hard to say that because I like the Hump a lot, but he'll never be number 2. Size is a big factor. Adam Humphries is not a big dude. He's shown that he's had the speed, but you can't really put him in situations going all the way down when he's trying to make catches in traffic, and that's what you need out of a number 2 receiver, is something maybe a little bit balanced. So that's how I feel about that situation. I'd like to see a little bit of both of those guys come in and maybe try and fill a role. 2K God said, did you just say Jameis is top 15, top 7, nothing less? Yeah, I'll go top 10. Top 10 is my stretch. I do not think Jameis is better than I don't think Jameis is better than 24 other NFL quarterbacks, 24, 25. I think Jameis is great. I think he's had a fantastic and very productive year, but the only reason I don't say that he is top 7 or top 5 or anything like that, the only reason he is top 10, interceptions. Jameis Winston, it's mentioned time in and time out, Jameis Winston shows a lot of Brett Favre characteristics. He'll scramble, he'll look around, and that's great. He's very aware. He's very great on his feet. We've seen him use his size to make some plays, shake some tackles, push some guys over, but on those same plays, he'll make a move, push a guy over, and look for a receiver deep and throw a pick that ends up giving up a score. Not saying that it's Jameis's fault entirely, But Jameis has still got a little bit of learning to do, despite how much we may not like it. We might be a little impatient with it, but that's what it comes down to is those interceptions. He had, 28 touchdowns last year and 18 interceptions. It's a lot of interceptions. That's over 50%. Your touchdowns to interception ratio. I don't know if they really keep track of that. But regardless, that's a lot of interceptions. So, yes, interceptions hold him back from being a top 5, top 7 quarterback. I like to see him top 10 until he fixes those mistakes, until he learns to be a little more patient in the pocket. Yeah. And in the live chat, people are already naming quarterbacks that are a little bit better. Let's see. Fade Ennis said Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Matt Ryan, Big Ben, Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, Derek Carr, Eli Manning, Jameis, possibly 10. Phillip Rivers is a stretch. I like to say that Jameis is a little bit better than Phillip Rivers.
I think Eli's a stretch.
You think Eli's a stretch? Well, I think the only reason Eli is up there is because he stopped Brady twice in the Super Bowl. That's really all the credit he gets. He's got 2 rings, but I don't know. I think Brady's petrified of nerdy white guys. I think that's really what it is. If you throw anybody in that situation, he'll crumble. Matt Ryan isn't exactly the most nerdy white guy around. That's why Brady could come back and beat him. First half he came out and he's like, wow, it's a really nerdy white guy. Halftime comes back, realizes he's kind of cool, and then goes out there and wins the game. It's Brady's kryptonite. That's why Eli Manning is so high. Jameis Winston or Marcus Mariota? Sorry, I'm so sorry, Evan. Jameis Winston or Marcus Mariota? Jameis Winston all the way. But I'll toss it to you, Evan. I didn't mean to cut you off like that, buddy.
No, it's no big deal. I'm just going to answer this question. And I know everybody right now is probably watching this and is probably wondering why I'm taking so long to think about this. Because they think it'd be an obvious choice. And the truth is, it's not an obvious choice. They're both good quarterbacks. They're both young quarterbacks. Really, it's, I think I'm going to take Winston anyway, and it's not for on-field reasons. It's off-field leadership. I think Jameis in the locker room, Jameis outside in the community, he's a leader. Everybody follows him. Everybody believes what he's saying. On field, stats say that Marcus Mariota is better. Now, does that mean Jameis Winston sucks? No. Does that mean the Bucs made the wrong pick? No. It does not mean that at all. The Bucs got who they needed to get. They needed someone to change the culture. Okay. The Titans had a losing culture as well, but the Titans, I guarantee you, did not have as much a losing culture as the Bucs did. They were not as down as the Bucs were. And honestly, I seriously think that Jameis Winston, no matter who had the number 1 pick, Jameis Winston was going number 1 in that draft, no matter what. Whether it was the Bucs, whether it was the Jets, whether it was the Titans, no matter what, Jameis Winston was going to be a number 1 pick. Marcus Mariota was likely to follow him. I think the Bucs liked both quarterbacks, and I'm going to go Winston, but I'm just saying, if you like a guy to protect the football, it's Mariota. If you like, if you like a leader who's gonna really make you angry, but who's gonna make you also go, "Wow!" It's Winston. So it all depends on what you really prefer.
And that's the answer for Jameis versus Mariota. That question is brought up year after year. That question is brought up maybe once a week on any sort of sports platform.
It's gonna be for the rest of their careers.
Oh yeah, it's always going to be a career-long thing. It's kind of like, oh Christ, I feel bad. Was it Ryan Leaf?
Ryan Leaf and Peyton Manning.
Ryan Leaf and Peyton Manning. If Ryan Leaf was a good quarterback, it'd be that kind of situation. But
yeah,
kind of. But these are guys who have both come out and proven to be good quarterbacks. I'm not saying Mariota isn't talented, just saying he's not Jameis Winston. He's very safe with the ball. He's very secure. But one, he cannot stay healthy. He can't really take a bump. He's a big guy. He can scramble. But other than Mike Vick, which was 10, 12 years ago, we really haven't seen another scrambling quarterback who has changed the face of the game. And Mariota doesn't seem to have the character to come out and change the culture of a game, change the culture of a team. like Jameis has. And there's just maybe less emotion in that spot. But it really comes down to character skills, not so much how they play. So that's why that question's always brought up. But I am Team Jameis all the way, man. 2K God said Mariota will never put up the passing numbers Jameis Winston will. Mariota can't even stay healthy. Well, that's the thing.
That's because he protects the ball. He protects the ball, so he's going to look for the check down, so he's not going to get as many yards.
Right. So we got another live stream question that we'll field, and then we'll jump back to DM if we still have a few more. Fade Ennis said, question, I know Quan has been absolutely amazing his first 2 seasons, but if he has an even better one this season, do you think he finally gets the recognition he deserves? Pro Bowl, All-Pro, Top 100, all of that good stuff. Oh, for sure. For sure. I think he is going to be one of the first players on the ballot for the Pro Bowl representing the Bucs. I'd love to see him go Pro Bowl. I'd love to see him top 100. I think Quan has been definitely underrated these past 2 years. He's only been getting better, and if he can improve that production this year, then without a doubt he'll be in any one of those spots. And maybe next year he'll actually have a fair Madden rating. What did they give him this year? They gave him 81, something ridiculous in Madden. But Quan Alexander, only Bucs fans know the hype, but this guy's going to blow up this season. You watch, and he's going to get the recognition he deserves. Evan, how are you feeling about Quan coming into this season?
I liked everything you said. Top 100. All-Pro, whatever, until he went to the Pro Bowl. And he said he'll be one of the first ballots of the Pro Bowl. I think he will. I strongly disagree. You want to know why?
I think he will. I
strongly disagree. No, you want to know why?
Why?
You can't play in the Pro Bowl if you're playing in the Super Bowl.
I like that.
That's all I'm saying. You can't play in the Pro Bowl if you're playing in the Super Bowl. So we'll see.
We got to quote that. You talked about quoting some of the episodes. We got to quote that. You can't play in the Pro Bowl if you're playing in the Super Bowl. Let's talk about that right now. Let me quote that. Let me pin that comment. Hang on. Give me a second. Look for, if you would like, look up another DM question. I'm going to quote this, and then we'll jump right back into it, man. I love that. I love that. You can't play in the Pro Bowl if you're playing in the Super Bowl. That got me really excited for this season. All right, take it over, Evan.
Okay. Let's see here. What do we got? Okay. Tampa Sports Fan 53 _1K. Wow, that's a long one.
Keeps it 1K.
Says, in your opinion, do you think McNichols is gone? Personally, think Barber had a better night. I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, I think so. I'm not particularly saying it's because of McNichols' performance. I'm saying because of Barber's performance. If you watch the game, he was making cuts, he was finding the holes, and he really seemed to know what was going on. And maybe McNichols does stay on the team until Martin comes back, and then maybe they cut him. That could definitely happen. But as of now, I don't see McNichols being the future. I think the running back situation, I just won one of my guarantees here. The running back situation for next season. I know we haven't even started this season yet. I'm talking about next season already. What am I doing?
Talking about Super Bowl, talking about next season. You got a crystal ball over there, man.
Oh, man. The running back situation next season is going to look different. It will not be anywhere close to the same. I don't think Doug Martin's going to be back. I don't think Charles Sims, he's in a contract year. I don't think they're going to resign him. Peyton Barber may still be there. Quiz, unless he has a horrible year, he signed a 2-year deal. He'll probably still be there as a veteran. But I think they'll end up maybe signing a running back in free agency. Or I think they'll end up drafting a running back in the first 3 rounds to be their guy. So I think they like Peyton Barber. So I think they think he can be the third down back with Quiz being the backup to whoever steps in. I think it's going to look a whole lot different.
I'll tell you what I like to see. I'm all about reunions, and I think you might know where I'm going with this. We're talking about picking up We're talking about picking up in free agency. If we want to make some moves right now for some cheap money, then maybe we will cut McNichols.
Okay.
We will keep Barber on practice squad.
Okay.
I'm telling you, if we want to make some moves right here, right now, we'll sign Bobby Rainey.
Bobby Rainey, huh?
back to the Bay. Yeah.
All right. He got cut today.
I know he got cut. He got cut by Baltimore, right?
Yeah, the team he started out with. Actually, he's actually one of my. I was pretty good friends with him when he was on the Bucks. Me and him talked a lot.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I know he was a big fan guy. He was big with the fans. There's a lot of guys I follow on Instagram. Whenever they go to $1, he was like one of the first people they'd see. Bobby Rainey was a very happy guy. He was very good to talk to. Maybe not the number one running back on the field, but he was a good guy. I'd like to see him come back.
Number one in your heart, so
Oh yeah, number 43. What was he? 43. Number 43 on the field. Number one in your heart, Bobby Rainey.
Yeah. Still remember, man, in Tampa versus Buffalo in Tampa. I don't remember what week it was, but it was 2013. It was after the whole Josh Freeman thing. Mike Glennon was the quarterback. And second play of the game, right from scrimmage, Bobby Rainey, 82 yards, touchdown. I had him on my fantasy team that freaking year, man.
Oh, yeah? How many points did he put up that game?
Like 25 or something like that. It was crazy. Like that 3-week stretch where he faced the Falcons and the Bills, and he had a couple of other nice games. That was incredible. Really big that year, and he was a big part of it. That and Justin Tucker making a 60. He made a. I'll tell you a little story here. Okay, so I'm down probably about 0.9 in the game to get to the championship. If I win that game, I get into the championship. And I'm down like 0.9, and I don't have anybody else to play, and he doesn't have anybody else to play. And I only have Justin Tucker. It's a Monday night game. I only have Justin Tucker, and the Ravens were down like 2. It was like 23-21 or something, and the Ravens got there. He had to kick a field goal. It was like a 63-yarder. If you would have made it, the Ravens would have won the game, and I would have won my fantasy game. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, oh, my God, make it. And he makes it. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Oh, man. I'll never forget that.
And the sleeper pick, man, Justin Tucker, year in and year out. I picked him up on my fantasy team this year and last year, and he's a solid guy. He puts points on the board no matter where he is on the field. He can bang it in from wherever the hell he wants to. And
yeah, it smells like up dog in here. I'm just saying. I'm just getting a little. I don't know. Just a little sniff, I guess.
A little bit of up dog.
Yeah.
Happens to everybody, man. Looking back at the live chat, Max Malaya said, who wins tight end? You're looking at everybody this year. Who wins tight end? I like to say Cam Brate. I'd like to say Cam Brate will come out, be a little more productive. O.J. Howard will come out and play his part, but he is a rookie. You look at the year Cam Brate had last year, and it's one of those things he can probably only go up from here, especially now that there is – I wouldn't say less pressure because he's a tight end. It's not like he was the star receiver, but there's more weapons. So if you can find Cam Brate on an open route, you can have more confidence in him to make that play. And I think Cam Brate will win the tight end situation. Evan, how are you feeling about the tight ends for Tampa?
I think Brate wins. I mean, and don't get me wrong, just because I say Brate wins, that doesn't mean Howard won't get on the field at all. Trust me, Dirk Cutter's going to use O.J. Howard a ton this year. Dirk Cutter's original plan for the Bucs 2016/2017 offense was to have Cameron Brate on one side and Austin Seferian-Jenkins on the other, the 2 tight end set, and he only got to run it for, I believe, 1 game, well, 2 games, but 1 game. 1 game he fully got to run it because it was when everybody was healthy. That game, the second game, Doug Martin got injured, messed up the whole thing, whatever. 1 game, everybody was healthy, and he ran the 2 tight end sets. Jameis Winston threw 4 touchdowns. I'm not, it works. It works. And the fact of the matter is, Austin Seferian-Jenkins, same skill set that O.J. Howard has. Seferian-Jenkins is fast. Yes, he's athletic. But O.J. Howard is faster, is bigger, and O.J. Howard has had more success at the bigger level. Um, and I think this is going to be a good thing for both tight ends. They're both going to get a ton of looks. I think OJ will blossom a bit more next year, as I agree. Rookie tight ends don't make the huge impact to year one. He'll have a solid year this year for a rookie tight end. I don't know. I don't really know what even tight ends look like. Probably like 450, 500 receiving yards, maybe two reception, 3 reception touchdowns. I think Cam Brate will probably have about maybe six touchdowns. Probably 800 receiving yards, something like that. Go ahead.
I wouldn't call it crazy. I think it's realistic.
What are you going to say here?
You already do know what I'm going to say, and I'm going to say it. I like double-digit touchdowns for Cam Brate. Big Bam Bam Cam Brate.
Oh.
I'm going to get my Cam Brate jersey this season. That's going to be my new jersey. I'm still deciding.
Even with all the weapons?
Even with all the weapons, I see 10 touchdowns for big man Cam Brate. I probably should have signed him as my tight end, but what can you do? But I'm deciding for week 1, I'm either going to get myself a Quan Alexander jersey or Cam Brate, and I'm leaning towards Cam Brate. I like to see him have a good year this year. I think that's this Bucs football team. It's an identity that a lot of people have been hoping for, and I think we said it before on one of the older episodes, but one of my favorite quotes about this football team in particular, there was a press conference couple months back, and I'm surprised not a lot
after
of people.
After the draft?
Yeah, after the draft. I'm surprised not a lot of people quoted it, but I love it, man. Coach Cutter, someone said, what is the identity for this football team? And he responded and flat out said, this is a badass football team. That's the best thing I've ever heard any head coach say. So I like to see some moves on offense for Big Bam Cam Brate. But we'll see what happens. I'm calling double-digit touchdowns, though. I like that idea.
Yeah. Wow, that's really pushing it. I can see it. But I think it's gonna be tough for him because I think they're gonna run the football. And I also think that Jameis is going to look to not, last year it was Mike and Cam. This year it's Mike, Cam, Deshaun, Chris, Adam, OJ, whatever, whoever. I don't care. Josh Huff, Freddie Martino. Those guys are great. Just exaggerating. They're not great. But, anyways, Cam's going to have a good year regardless. I don't know if they'll do the touchdowns, but he's going to have a good year. He's going to make an impact year. He should have made the Pro Bowl last year, in my opinion. Like I said, no Pro Bowl this year. But no Pro Bowl for anybody. No matter what you do.
No Pro Bowl for anybody this year.
Grimes has 10 picks this year and 500 tackles. He's not going to the Pro Bowl because honestly, if Brent Grimes has okay, I'm not gonna say 500, but it'll be more realistic here. For a cornerback, like 60 tackles is a lot. So like 10 picks, I guarantee you, if he gets 10 picks, the Bucs are legit going to the Super Bowl. I'm not kidding, because if they have that lockdown corner, wow.
How many picks for Vernon Hargreaves this year? We saw some picks in the preseason, which was 2 or 3 more than we saw last year. He only finished with 1 pick last year. How many picks for VH3 this year?
Well, actually, he's the preseason pick machine because last year's preseason he had 2 interceptions in the same game against Jacksonville, and then this year he had 2 interceptions as well. So he has 4 in the preseason, only 1 in the regular season. But this year, realistically speaking, I'm going to put that number around 3. I think 3 or 4. I think that's a good number, and I think next year is when he gets around 5. I don't think he gets above 5. I think 5 is a really good number for corners. So, I think 3 for this year is good. I think Grimes probably gets 4 again. I think the linebackers end up getting more than they did last year. So I think that's where most of the interceptions are going to come from, the linebacking core.
I got you there. But again, no Pro Bowl for anybody this year, as the Bucs will be at the big one. But jumping back to the live chat really quick, Mr. G has said yo probably 8 times during this live chat. I've been ignoring him. Yo. Max Malaya said going to the Miami game, paint Miami red. Yes, sir. 2K God said Cam Brate got a nice Madden 18 card. Yeah, he did. I've actually been trying to grind my ass off to get that card. Faye Dennis said silently last year Cam Brate was a top 5 tight end statistically, if not higher. I agree with you there. He's been just a productive tight end for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense. Jumping back, 2K God said, who wins, Alabama or Florida State? We're not going to spend a lot of time on this question, but I got Bama all the way. One, because I don't like Florida State very much. I like Jameis. I like a lot of the guys that come out of Florida State, but it's Gators all the way. But I'm picking Bama. I don't think Florida State really has had a game-changing team. I think Florida State has not cheated their way, but I don't think Florida State is, a top 5 AP team. I just
doesn't
really
matter.
haven't seen it.
Florida can't beat them.
Okay, look. Yeah, you shut me. I'm not even going to finish answering the question. You shut me down there. Shut me down there.
Don't cry. Don't cry. You're good. It's okay.
I might cry. What was
okay. What's that? How many times in a row? I don't remember.
I think it's 3.
All I know is that the Knowles have pretty much wore every uniform combination and beat you guys. So,
so it doesn't come down to. It doesn't come down to who's wearing the white or who's wearing the maroon or the blue or none of that. All right.
No, the only blue that Florida's wearing is black and blue. So, anyways, I'm a Florida State fan. I'm a Penn State fan also. I like Penn State football. However, I'm not going to sit here and be biased. I do think it'll be a close game, but quick prediction would be Alabama. It's going to be a really good game, but my quick prediction is Alabama because. Hey, it's Alabama, so I'm going to go with Alabama.
Bama comes out. Bama wants to win. Bama wants to make it to the national championship again. I think they will. I think they're a good spot for the college football playoff. Huh?
That's something Florida will never get their experience.
Look, I'm a Florida fan, but I'm not saying that I'm hyped for the team this year, okay? I'm a little disappointed in our Gators this year. We got 10 players suspended that are not going to be on the field because – Florida State or not Florida State. Florida just isn't. Florida isn't in the zone right now. We thought the Gators were in the zone 2-3 years ago. They started coming back, and then all these suspensions started.
That's what happens.
Starting quarterback.
That's what happens when you lose. You lose Hargraves, you lose Tease Tabor, you lose Quincy Wilson, you lose Gerard Davis. I mean, they lost a lot of guys. You lose Jonathan Bullard. They lost a lot of guys to the draft. And that's what happens.
Yeah. But a couple years, ask me about the Gators again. We'll get them in a couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 2014 Bucks kind of year for the Gators. We'll get there, man. We'll get there. But I haven't been following college football as much as I used to. I hate to say that, but I've been so hyped for football season, for NFL season. But jumping back to the live stream really quick, Max Malaya said, does Doug Martin start when he come back? No. Doug Martin will have to fight for that spot. It's not. Douglas O'Connor. We did figure it out, buddy. Finally, we figured it out. We had to do it the old-fashioned way. Welcome back to the stream. Hope you stick around and enjoy. But no, I don't think Martin is guaranteed that position. I think he'll fight for it. I think he'll win it. Let me take back what I said. Martin will start, but Martin isn't going to start off the bat. They still have a little bit of practice left to go until week 1. We'll see what happens. I think they'll split play time the first game. I think we'll see just about as much as Charles Sims as we will Doug Martin. But ultimately, Doug
Martin's not playing.
Doug Martin's not playing week 1?
No, he's suspended the first 3 games, bud.
Oh, yeah. I forgot
you got to know this stuff.
Forgot about this. Yeah, I don't think – okay, yeah. That's a big thing, actually. I have a picture on my phone.
In the question, he said when he returns week 4. In the question that was asked.
I apologize. Okay, it went right over my head. There's a lot of people in the live chat right now.
He's a Florida fan. He doesn't know Doug Martin's suspension. He thinks the Bucs are going to actually make the Pro Bowl when they're going to the Super Bowl. Man, this guy's all.
Yeah, I'm just having a bad night, huh?
Man, this is good. This is fun though. This is fun.
I'm glad we are having fun. We turned things around here. Glad you guys are hanging out with us here on the stream, and it looks like people are enjoying. We got 7 thumbs up. That's awesome, guys. But long story short, my answer to that question is yes. It will just be a little bit of a challenge for him. I think he'll have to work for it. I think he'll have to show something special if he wants to come in here and get that top spot, which I think he can do. I got faith in Doug because this is the make or break season for him. Evan, I'm gonna give it to you, wise guy. We'll see how you feel about Doug Martin when he comes back from his suspension. Really quick, sorry. I was saying I have a picture on my phone that I took with Doug. It was a meet and greet at Verizon. I have it on my Instagram, and it was a meet and greet at Verizon. I met him, shook his hand, talked to him. I said, Dougie Fresh. I said, you're the man out there, man. Just keep doing what you do.
Happened
We
a
love
couple
you
days after that?
It happened the day after. The day after, I got the notification on my phone that says Doug Martin under investigation for, what was it, PEDs?
Yeah.
PEDs, and then, a couple hours later, they announced the suspension. So, rough situation, but he'll come back. He'll figure it out. I believe he is going to be a top 5 running back this year.
Whoa, top 5 running back. Well, my
top
prediction,
I'll tell you what.
He'll
be number 5.
He'll be, okay, I'll tell you what. Yeah. We got to make some sort of bet there. I don't believe in Doug Martin. It's just I think it's very difficult for a running back that's going to be missing 3 games to become a top 5 running back. But anyway, and that would also screw up my guarantee that next season they would have like 3 new running backs. So, because if he's a top 5 back this year, why would the Bucs cut him?
Yeah,
because that would make no sense. So the only thing that worries about me is, okay, this is going to sound bad. I want Doug to have a good year, but I kind of.
You want to move on?
How do I word this? I kind of don't, because I want to move on. I know what's going to happen. If he has a great year this year, we're going to think Doug's back, and it's going to happen again. He's going to disappoint us again. He has shown he hasn't put together 2 good seasons in a row. He hasn't. For 5-6 seasons.
He's not consistent. I can agree with you there. He's not consistent in the long run.
So would you feel comfortable if Doug Martin has a great year this year? Would you still feel comfortable with him as your starting running back next year?
I think coming out, yes, only because he has a lot more to prove this year. I'm sure he is full aware that since being on this Tampa team, he has not put up 2 good seasons in a row. He'll come out, have his moments, and then he'll come out and screw up the next season, dick around on the field, do whatever he's got to do. He is fully aware of that. I'm sure it has been made known to him, and I'm sure somewhere, whether it was a teammate, whether it was a coach, whether it was someone, has slipped him a comment and said, hey, this is your make or break year. He is fully aware, and I think if he can come out and prove himself and show that he wants to be there, he's going to understand the load that he's got to carry to go into these next seasons and be that top man on the ground for the Buccaneers. I think he has the potential to do it.
Yeah, he has the potential to do it, yes.
You think he's lazy?
No, I don't think he's lazy. I don't think
he's lazy.
I'm
not mad at him. I'm just disappointed.
I'm gonna be the angry dad. So, I'm not mad at you, son. I'm just disappointed in you. That's the worst. I would prefer my dad to be mad at me than disappointed in me.
That's the worst thing they can say to you.
Anyways, I think that he's not lazy motivation, and he needs a lot of motivation. That seems to be the thing. Rookie year, you always have something to prove in your rookie year. You need to let it be known to everybody that you're here and you're a good player. So that's the reason he showed up as a rookie. His second year, I give him a pass on the second year, honestly, because the second year he really started hitting the injury bug. Second year he didn't play much. His third year was not good. His third year was the 2014 year, which was the horrible offensive line, but also that wasn't the same Doug Martin that we saw in 2012.
Yeah,
That
without a
was
doubt.
not it. And I remember this before the 2015 season. He slimmed down. He seemed to be in good shape. I predicted that Doug would be back, pick out a player, which is actually probably something we'll do on the podcast soon. Probably previewing the Miami games last season. Probably do breakout players for 2017. He was my guy. I said Doug Martin. Last year I said Will Golston, but I said Doug Martin, and this year I'm still undecided. So we'll see. But I said Doug Martin. I was confident in that. He proved me right. 2015 was his contract year, so that's what he was motivated.
Yeah.
They did not
Yeah.
pick. They didn't pick up his fifth-year option. So that was it for him. He got his money. I'm not saying he's not a money grubber at all. He gave the Bucks a very nice deal, $7 million, and for a running back now, Le'Veon Bell's making like 12.6 right now. So that's not horrible. But
Le'Veon Bell is making 12.6 and is holding out of that contract. He agreed today.
He actually, he came back today.
Did you actually, to sidetrack a little bit, did you see those pictures going around Le'Veon Bell? He had posted a picture of him filling out a Dairy Queen application. He's like, I'm just thinking about my post. He's like, I'm just thinking about my post-football career moves and stuff like that. And I like Le'Veon Bell. Awesome. I like Le'Veon Bell because he's got an attitude about him. A lot of people complain that he has an attitude. Oh, he's cocky. He needs to focus on, touchdowns. And
he's gonna be a Buck next year.
All those people. Ooh. all those people complaining about Le'Veon Bell and the way that he does business and the way that he handles himself are the same people saying that Terrell Owens needs to be in the Hall of Fame every single year. People need to realize.
He does, but.
People need to realize that football players have characters, and Le'Veon Bell is using the best of his, and I think he's done an awesome job. I think he's hilarious. People think he's cocky, but jumping in really quick to the live chat once again, 2K God said, and let me make sure I'm pronouncing this correctly, Roberto Aguayo was arguably one of the best kickers in college history, came to Tampa and choked. It's obviously just a mental thing. What did you think is going to happen, or what do you think is going to happen with him? Can he get it right? I think if he figures out what's holding him back, then yeah. But I think right now even he doesn't know. It could be a mental thing. It could be just a jump that he hasn't made yet. And I drafted him on fantasy this year because it's a new city, it's a new team.
Stupid.
Shut up. He's on the bench. Okay. He's on the bench.
You wasted a pick on a kicker, just like Jason Light. Fire Jason Light. You know what? He wasted a second-round pick on a kicker. You know how many times I hear that? Fire Jason Light. Wasted a second-round pick on a kicker.
It was like 8th round that I got Roberto Aguayo. Okay, I didn't waste a second round.
So you're a better GM than Jason Light.
Yeah.
You drafted him in the second.
Yeah,
round.
I am.
He traded up for him.
I didn't trade up for nothing. He was on the board, and I said, you know what? Let's make a ballsy move here. But it's a new culture up in Chicago. It's a new team. It's new conditions, new stadium, new fans. Everything is different in Chicago.
Don't we think? No, it's not. He knuckleballed his first kid.
No. I'm not talking about him. I'm not talking about him being different in Chicago. I'm just talking about the team. It's a different team culture.
It's a worse team, that's for sure.
It's a worse team. Yeah, it's not a team he wants to be on, but I think if he can figure out what's going on, then he can come out and he can be the kicker that we know that he is. But until he does not know, I really think he's just gonna, he's gonna finish like 60% on the season, 70%. He's not a good kicker right now, and he's got to fix that.
I think he's gonna finish 0%. I think he's gonna finish 0% because
you think he's gonna get cut before the season's over?
He's gonna get cut. No, he's gonna get cut before He's gonna get cut tomorrow. No, I guarantee you, Connor Barnes has been perfect this preseason. I guarantee you. Roberto Aguayo had one field goal attempt all preseason and completely shanked it. It was worse than any miss he ever had in Tampa.
Yeah, it was in a dome.
I would have liked to actually seen. Actually, a little fun fact: they were playing the Cardinals, and Roberto Aguayo's first official miss in the NFL regular season came against the Arizona Cardinals in that same dome. Versus it was week 2. It was week 2 because I remember versus
I
the
remember that game
Falcons,
too.
he made the field goal and he made all of his extra points, and nothing went right for the Bucks that game, and he missed that kick, and that was his first official miss in the regular season. I just think Connor Borst is going to win. I think he's the better right now. He's the better kicker. Can Roberto get a shot? Yeah, but I think only if an injury would happen to some kicker, which only seems to happen to the Bucks. I'm not sure if you realize that. I would like to know what the kicking situation would be right now had Connor Barth not played that charity basketball game a few years back. But he tore his ACL in a charity basketball game, and that's what prompted them to sign Lawrence Tynes. Okay, Lawrence Tynes now just freaking got him for a couple $1,000s from MRSA. So that'd be a little bit of money that they would have. Okay, and Connor Barth was like 25 years old, 26 years old, kicker, good kicker. That could have changed the whole thing.
It's amazing how certain situations can just change the landscape of sports. First comment I had, I think Roberto, quote me on this. No. We're saying a lot of crazy stuff this stream. I think Roberto will come in. Will come in. I think he'll just come in and he'll do nothing. I think Roberto Aguayo will come in. He will get cut from the Bears.
Okay.
I think he'll get cut from the Bears, and you know what I see happening?
And don't tell me. No, don't freaking give me this garbage. Go ahead.
He is going to go on to be the greatest kicker in arena football history. He is going to win 15 arena bowls with 15 different teams. He's going
for the Tampa Bay Storm. He's
the Storm would sign him in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me? The Storm just won an arena bowl, and the Storm would sign him in a heartbeat.
No, they didn't. They did not win that arena bowl.
Oh, no, they didn't?
No, because my Philadelphia Soul beat them.
Did you hear that thunder?
Oh, wow. Holy.
Yeah.
That was like rough. The one from – that was like me the other night. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember. It sounded like you were in the rain, man.
Yeah. Good thing I got a camera on you. I know you're not. So.
So we have I think he's going to go, I don't watch arena football that often. I watch it when it's on. I've never gone to an arena game, but I do know that the Storm, a good tradition that they have is they shoot through the T-shirt cannons. They shoot wrapped up sub sandwiches. So they'll shoot hoagies into the crowd and stuff like that. But I don't keep up with arena that much. But he said, my Philadelphia Soul.
Yeah, you got to feel the soul, baby. Come on. Back-to-back Arena Bowl champions.
So they didn't win the Arena Bowl. Maybe I'll check into I need to start watching more football. I need to watch Arena. I might not check into college football until towards the end of the season, but I'll keep up with Arena football this year.
It's done, so.
Oh, I know, but we got regular season to look forward to, and then we got Arena football. But anyways, we were talking about Roberto Aguayo. I see Roberto just not really going anywhere. It's a tough situation for him, but we will probably, if you want to, Evan, just because I know I'm probably going to have to wrap things up soon, we'll probably field a few more questions, maybe stream for another 10 minutes, and then maybe call it a night. I saw your mic was muted. Are you still there with us? I didn't know what was going on, if you lost connection or anything like that. Hopefully he's still here. I think he's still here. He's still in the call.
Yeah, I'm still here. I just had to go upstairs for something, going down to get my charger. Unfortunately, Hangouts absolutely murders my battery.
Oh, I feel you entirely on that one, man. Douglas O'Connor said, who gets the fifth wide receiver spot? The fifth wide receiver spot? Who gets the fifth wide receiver spot?
Why do you always pass the tough questions to me?
Because I gotta know how you feel about the comment, or I gotta know how you feel about the situation before I can just jump in. For a tough question, it's easier for me to bounce off of somebody, to be completely honest with you. So I gotta pass the thunder to you. I also gotta grab my phone charger, so I will be right back. But who takes that fifth wide receiver spot?
Well, I know Rendax, Douglas Sean O'Connor is not gonna like this, but I think it's Josh Huff. I think Josh Huff's gonna end up taking it. I think I like Huff. Not many people do, but I do. I do like Josh Huff a lot. I think that he has some potential. But I like his speed. And it's something that the Bucks don't have much of besides Deshaun Jackson. The other thing is though, Speedy Reedy, Bernard Reedy could potentially have that job, and I really like Bernard Reedy. I really do. Not the biggest Freddie Martino guy, but I like Bernard Reedy. But I just gotta give Huff the edge. I think Cutter likes Huff more. I just do. It's just like I believe you said earlier, Rendex. I just think the front office seems to be. I believe you said like enamored with Huff's speed. To me he gets a bad rap because he had that one botched play in Tampa versus New Orleans, his debut last season, which led to a safety. Wasn't good, of course, but to me, he gets a bad rap. In Cincinnati, he had a really nice return. If that one tackle, it was a tackle saved, he would have been gone. And I really think he has some potential. So I'm gonna go Josh Huff. What do you think, Brett?
You talked about talked about Josh Huff, and you talked about the nice returns that he had. He's made some mistakes on returns, but that fifth wide receiver spot, I really think it's going to come down. Really, it's going to come down to special teams, and I think Josh Huff has established himself a little more as a returner. As much as I don't like him, I don't think he's a major weapon on our offense. But he's not a bad returner. You cannot deny the fact that the guy knows how to move around and the guy has incredible speed. People are enamored by it for a reason because he is fast. But I don't think he's going to be a weapon on our offense. But I got to say Josh Huff, too, as much as I don't like it, just because of that special teams ability and his ability to return the football on the kicks. And we will look into we will answer. Do we have any more DM questions that we could pick up on? Because we'll probably answer maybe one or two more, and then we'll wrap up the stream.
All right. It's a shame. The stream's pretty good.
It's going pretty good, but I'm getting a little tired, to be honest with you, and I don't want to keep going if I'm too tired. You know what I mean? And I think the majority. I think the majority of. What was I saying? I think the majority of our traffic is kind of gone now. We had 7 viewers at one point. Now we're kind of coasting around 2 or 3, and that's totally fine. I did want to say really quick, thank you guys for coming by and supporting. It means the world. This was something we had planned for a couple days in advance, and to see feedback from anyone on any level is just absolutely amazing. So thank you guys for hanging out with us through the technical difficulties that we had on the first part of the stream. But we'll field a few more. I think we could probably go for another 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes. I'll be down for that. Let's see. The first question that I wanted to got was, and I quote, "Why do you not think Joe Dirt will make the team?" I don't think Riley Bull will make the team, and it's because of sort of what they showed on Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks, to me, sort of gave it away a bit because they're really prepping. If you notice, they're really prepping for to spice the drama up for the Bulla to get cut. They really, really are. They're trying to say, his upside, but his weakness is this, and his weakness is coverage. He's not fast enough to play middle linebacker in this defense. You look at the middle line, starting middle linebacker, Quan Alexander. Quan Alexander can stick with almost the wide receivers in the league. Like he can probably play cornerback if he needed to. That's how fast he is. And Darius Blanton's fast. Levante David's fast. You need to be quick to be able to play in this defense, and this isn't that. And it's a shame because he's a good player, but and he should either land on the practice squad or land with somebody else. But he's a good player. But I don't think he makes it. It's a shame, but I don't think he makes it.
You talked about pros and cons and strengths and weaknesses. As you said, Riley has never really – he hasn't proven himself to be that great in coverage. But one thing that I can say, and I think it's going to get him that spot on the practice squad at least, the guy is one hell of a tackler. The guy can be in the right place at the right time. He has shown a proven ability to stick his nose in the play and just make sure he's where he needs to be. Maybe not on coverage, but he's made a lot of tackles, and he's very, very good at tackling. He's very good at tracing and following the football. I like to see him on practice squad.
Leadership, I like his leadership a ton.
Yeah, he does have a hell of a lot of character. He is very, very emotional guy on the field, and that's something a lot of people need. Lavonte David is a great leader, but Lavonte David, at least from what I've noticed, Lavonte David's never really been that vocal. Lavonte David, I've never seen him really, every single play yelling something out before the snap, unless it's something play related.
Yeah, he really doesn't. But honestly, you don't really get that much of a look of it because Lavonte David is a quiet guy. But even if you wouldn't really get the chance to see it because they don't always get mic'd up during the actual regular season game, so you never really know what they're saying because Hard Knocks isn't around all the time to get mics on guys. So, Lavonte David's not. I think Quan is to an extent. I think Riley. I think Bola is a little bit more than Quan. I think Quan is a watch me do what I do type of guy, but he's also he shows a lot of emotion. He does not talk a lot. He shows he's going to get up after he makes the tackle and go like that or whatever. He's going to show a lot of emotion, but I don't think he's going to yell and talk to offensive linemen trying to get their head. I don't think that. I just think that Quan is focused on ripping your head off. I think he's too focused on ripping your head off to talk.
And it's a good mentality to have. And that's really what it comes down to on the linebacker core is just it's a silent leadership type thing. It's a lead by example sort of tone, and not that Riley doesn't fit that. But Riley needs to buckle down on things like coverage. It's great to go out there with a lot of emotion. It's great to go out there and make these tackles and recognize the play and hype people up, but he's got to cover all areas. And that's why, like I said, practice squad is a good position for him. Douglas O'Connor said Riley would run the best scout defense in the NFL. Yeah, I'm with you there. I agree with that one. Also, one last question from Fade Ennis. He said, one last question from me. It's extremely early, but once Doug and Sims are gone, so next year, how do you feel about Saquon Barkley?
Do you want me to take this one, or do you want this one?
This is all you, buddy, because to be honest with you, I really haven't watched an ounce of anything on Saquon Barkley.
Okay, well, for one, my guarantee, 2018 season, I guaranteed it, right? I guaranteed that Doug Martin, Charles
We quoted him on it.
Also, I said that I'm a Florida State fan. I'm also a Penn State fan. I've watched a lot of Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley, Penn State star, watched a lot of him. And I'll tell you this. The Bucs will not get him, and it's because he won't be there. The Bucs will have to trade up for him. He's a top 10 pick. Him and Darius Geis. Geis is from LSU. In my opinion, Geis is better than Fournette.
Without a doubt. I think Fournette was one of the weakest running backs in that first round.
Yeah. And I think they're both top 10, top 15 talents, and if that's the bad part. You win, you get a worse draft pick. You don't win, you get a better draft pick. If this team goes 6-10 and is sitting at number 9 again, I think Saquon Barkley could be a real option because I think if they go 6-10, part of the reason they go 6-10 is because there's no running game to help out James Winston.
Yeah, and you said that's. You had said that's one of the main focuses of this year is establishing that ground game. They're going to look to run a lot.
It's going to be pretty much what Jacksonville was, the preseason game in Jacksonville. They really wanted to run the ball, and they had success, and the offense really looked good. So, Saquon Barkley, great player, won't be a buck. One guy to keep an eye on. I do not a lot, but some draft breakdown on my official Twitter account, my personal, Evan_WTB. And one guy I absolutely love for any team is I watched the film. I watched draft breakdown film, and it's running back Nick Chubb out of Georgia. He got injured, bad injury, but come back strong. I think he's having another strong year. I think he's a top 20 talent. I think the Bucs can probably get him if they're sitting at 22 or 23.
All right. Good things coming out of that running back situation. Fade said, hold on, let me take a look here. I got to pull this chat back up. Excuse me. Technical difficulties. He said, so we should just lose and pick up Derwin James or Saquon Barkley. Yeah, that's the plan. We'll get all our guys in the Pro Bowl this year. We'll get them all in the Pro Bowl.
Nobody in the Pro Bowl.
But good question there. I can't fill anything in because I haven't really been watching these college backs, to be honest with you. I'll watch some film when it comes closer to the draft and once we have a better idea of what we're going with. But, we haven't seen this team play at all this year, and he said it in the question. It's a little early. So for me, it's a little too early to tell. I would like to see the Bucs pick up a good talent this year next year, and all around a good talent, something that'll help us out. Running back situation might just be it if there's any good backs left in the draft or if we trade up, however we do it. I'm looking forward to making moves in Tampa Bay for the next 2-3 years, just building this team and making it a quote, a badass football team, end quote.
Yeah. Like I said, I think Barkley's a great talent. I think Geis is a great talent. I think Chubb's a great talent. But all three of those guys are worthy of first-round picks. There's no question about it. Like if the Bucs, let's say the Bucs do cut Doug Martin this offseason, or maybe they don't even keep him to week 4. He could still get cut. There is still a possibility. Jason Light always keeps saying, we have time. Yes, he's got another – almost because there's a week in between. It's, that they don't play. He's got almost 4 weeks to make a decision on Doug Martin.
Yeah.
Almost a month. He can still cut him and get out of all of that money. That'll save them a lot of money. That's a big decision.
Yeah.
So he could seriously be cut. I don't think he'll be cut, but he could seriously be cut. It would not surprise me. It won't be tomorrow. He cut before the regular season starts. I mean, maybe after that week 3 game, maybe the Monday or Tuesday after that week 3 game, if they like what Quiz is giving them, if they like what Chuck Sims is giving them, maybe they end up cutting him. And that makes running back even more of an important position. But I haven't looked at the free agent class for running backs next year. Well, I have. I sort of said it. I'm not sure if anybody heard me. I know you did. Le'Veon Bell is a free agent next year, and the Bucs do have cap. And I saw this one article on Facebook, and it said, my buddy actually showed it to me. I didn't see the full article, but it said ranking the top 15 2018 free agents and where they could land. There's a couple names on there, just a couple ones, and number 1 was Le'Veon Bell, and the team was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
All thumbs up there. All thumbs up there.
Yeah, that was what it said. Do I think it happens? No, because I don't even think Bell leaves Pittsburgh. I don't think that Pittsburgh is going to let a great player like that walk. But I know I'm going to get a ton of questions about that this offseason, about Le'Veon Bell. Just like last year was Eric Berry, this year it's going to be Le'Veon Bell. So, anyways, I know you're going to say something. I'm going to wrap up really quick here. If they don't go out and sign a big time back with Le'Veon Bell, some other ones, there's a couple other good ones, I could see them trading up for a running back. If it's only 2 to 3 spots, I don't see him trading up. If they're at 23, I don't see him trading up to 7 to grab Barkley. I don't see that. But I would prefer them stay put and try to test their luck out with Nick Chubb, who I think would be there. So, what were you about to say?
I was going to say, I can tell you one thing that will happen. If Le'Veon Bell, some way, somehow, some black magic happens, and he ends up on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers squad, that's going to be something I hold over my girlfriend and her family's head for the rest of my life. Because one thing I cannot stand, I love that girl to death, but one thing I cannot stand is that her whole family and her are Pittsburgh fans. They've got Pittsburgh stuff all throughout their house. Their living room is all Pittsburgh. She's got a big Pittsburgh blanket hanging up on her wall. The stickers on both of their cars are all Pittsburgh. Her keychain, her key lanyard is Pittsburgh. I'm tired of seeing it, man. She went to Pittsburgh. She's in Pittsburgh right now, actually. But she went to Pittsburgh just a couple months ago. She brought me back some Pittsburgh Steelers underwear. I've only worn them once. But
Why'd you wear them at all?
Why did I wear them at all? She wanted me to. I can't. She spent a good amount of money on them in the Steelers store, so I can't just not wear them. But I might wear them. I might wear them to do lawn work or something. I'm not going to wear them to watch a game or anything like that. So we'll keep that idea on the back burner.
All you got to do is just a reminder that Mike Glennon ended up beating the Steelers. So.
Oh, yeah. I tell her that all the time. I talk about it all the time.
Won 2 games that year. One of the games was the Steelers.
I love to say that because I tell her mom that all the time. She talks a bunch of trash about Pittsburgh. We don't even have Pittsburgh on the schedule this year. She talks a ton of trash. And I say, well, look, last time we came in your house and got the job done. So with the team we have now, if y'all want to come back and try again, we'll take the dub a second time. But we'll start wrapping up the show, but we'll take one more DM question if we have any. Actually, I'll check because there was one that I saw that I didn't get the chance to read that you had sent me. So let me see here. Okay, I think this is a good one. I don't think we talked about it already. If we did, you can correct me. But I think this is a good one. Okay, this one was fielded by Zach Maxwell 7. Zach Maxwell 7. If you want to follow him on the Instagram, he said, what do you see in Jameis Winston's future? It's a broad question, but I think it's the general direction everyone knows. I think everyone knows what we're talking about. What do you see in Jameis Winston's future? Not Pro Bowl. Not Pro Bowl. Not Pro Bowl. I'll say that. Not Pro Bowl. I say if we're talking broad spectrum and we're talking from here to the end of his career, 3 rings. He's not going to come out and be he's not going to come out and be the next greatest of all time. I can tell you that right now. He's not going to come out and be Brady. Huh?
He already is that. I mean, he can't.
Okay. You know what? Then we'll 7 rings. We'll break that record. We'll get 7 banners in or 8 banners in Tampa Bay. They'll just add sails onto the ship every year. It'll.
How many more years is he going to play? You think?
How many more years do I think he's going to play?
Yeah.
He's going into his third season, right?
He's 23.
He's 23.
Or 20.
I think he'll retire at 42. I think he will play 42. I think he will be one of the older quarterbacks because he has shown he just has character and he has this ability to take care of himself in the pocket. I'm not saying he's smart and patient in the pocket, but I'm saying that if he has to take a big hit or if he has to scramble, if he has to get away from the pass rush, he has an ability to do that. He has an ability to get away from the sack and the ability to get away from a lot of big hits. And I think with that and the character that he brings, if he's a successful quarterback, which he very much will be, I think he could play 20 seasons.
Okay, so that would be 19 more seasons. So not 7 rings, that'd be 19 rings. Right?
We'll call it 19 rings. He'll finish with 10 on his hands and he'll finish with 10 on his toes. He'll be taking pictures poolside with all the rings and he'll throw it on Instagram. It'll look nice and pretty.
They're gonna have to make like 2 other ships in the stadium just to hold all the stuff. So.
We'll scrape out one of the end zones and it'll just be a fleet of pirate ships for all the Super Bowl banners.
Yeah, and then it's just all the cannons go off at once, and you think it is something like a attack.
It's an earthquake. The whole stadium's coming down. They're demolishing the stadium.
I could hear it from Pennsylvania every time the boat. Little bit back to the serious question. I'm gonna say a couple things. I'm gonna say 2 rings, lots of interceptions, lots of touchdowns, lots of yards. I think he's gonna have a career very similar to Brett Favre, to where he's gonna throw 35 touchdowns a year, but he's also gonna throw 17, 18 interceptions a year. That's just who he is. He's going to throw over 4,000 yards probably every year. I don't think he's going to play until he's 42. I think he'll probably play another. I'm going to say this because the Bucs will eventually move on. You got to imagine life without Jameis Winston. It'll probably happen, in my mind, probably happen in about 10 years. So that would make him about 33, 32, unless he's like a really good quarterback. Which I think he very well could be, but I'm just saying the pace that he's at now, yet, so I'm not going to be ready to put him in that category. Then I think he would start to go down a bit, but I think he would win both his rings with Tampa in that 10-year span. 2 rings in 10 years is pretty solid, especially since the Bucs haven't won a ring in 15 years, Jesus. It is, right? It's about 14, 15 years. So 2 rings in 10 years would be very good. I think Jameis, if he is that, I think he can have a Hall of Fame career. If he has 2 rings with all the passing yards and passing touchdowns he's going to have, the only thing that may hold him back, what like the naysayers would say, is the interceptions. But, if Brett Favre got in, Jameis Winston should get in. If he doesn't win any rings and, he's throwing 20 touchdowns and 18 picks a season, then no, obviously he's not Hall of Fame caliber. But he definitely could be. Bright future ahead for Jameis. But, and overall, when he leaves this team, the whole city will change. Not change. The whole city will already have been changed because of Jameis Winston. That's the biggest thing I get from when Jameis Winston says, "What guys, Tampa? Whether he retires as a Buck, I hope he does. But Tampa, love you, thank you, this and that. He's going to change. He would have left the city a changed man, and he would have left Tampa a changed city. Just because he's already changed it so much in only 2.5 years. So I can't wait to see what he does for the next 10 to 15 years in this community. But I'm gonna say, just because of how he is, I'm gonna say he's a Buck. He's a Buck for life. Guys like Mike Evans, probably not. I'm gonna say honestly.
Yeah.
By the time he's 32, 33,
I think the Patriots will get him.
I think he's going to start slowing down a bit by the time he's 32, 33. So, Warren Sapp went to the Raiders. John Lynch went to the Broncos. It happens. Towards the end of their careers, they start to lose a bit of steam. And the team, you have to introduce young talent. They can't hold on to the past stars forever. Yeah.
I'm with you on there. There's a lot of guys that I don't see being Bucks forever, and unfortunately, that's a hard truth. But honest to God, I thought when Mike Evans, what was he on a 3-year deal before he signed a new one?
Four.
He was on that 4-year deal. I thought he'd be gone. I thought I really didn't think he enjoyed it in Tampa. He's shown that he likes it here, but I agree with you. I can't see him being on this team until he retires. That's an unfortunate truth for a lot of guys on this squad, but it's time to focus on the here and the now and the next 10 years, and we're talking 15 years in the future. We could be wrong. Every single guy on this team could be on this team in 10, well, maybe not 15 years, but 10 years, maybe on their last leg, maybe just coming into their prime, maybe proving that they're already elite. It's something to look forward to in the future of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But ladies and gentlemen, that is probably just about going to do it for our stream, our Q&A. It's been awesome. It's been a great night, Evan. It's been fun, bro.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just gonna check the DMs one more time, make sure we didn't miss out anybody. I'd hate to do that.
No problem at all.
Okay.
Hey, in the chat talking about Jameis, Fate said 1 Pro Bowl, 19 rings. Yeah, buddy. Yes, sir.
There it is. Okay. We got one here, but we sort of touched on it. We kind of touched on this. It's from Kyle 230057. He said, "Do you see the Bucs making any trades this weekend for someone like Ward or Lane, or maybe a pass rusher like Sheldon Richardson?" Well, Sheldon Richardson just got traded to the Seahawks, but so that's not a possibility. He didn't know that it was sent in before that trade happened. So I'm just gonna answer it real quick. TJ Ward, I assume he'll be released. Lane, he means Jeremy Lane. That could be interesting. Very interesting. But speaking, what I wanted to hit on was pass rush. The Bucs need pass rush, and they're going to get pass rush from around the NFL. It won't be in. It's not in Tampa. Some of their pass rushers that are coming this season won't be from Tampa. I think they're going to really look. Jason's going to look hard at the free agents, at some guys that are cut, and I think they're going to bring some guys in.
All right. Solid. You touched on that pass rush. Needs a lot of help. There's not much I can say. Honestly, I liked that guy we were talking about, Abdisme, blah, blah, blah. He made a few plays. He had some very nice tackling. And I had texted you right after he made that fumble. He made play of the night, and then obviously there was the 82-yard touchdown. But was it 82 yards? It was a touchdown. It was a nice touchdown. But he ended up.
The only touchdown of the night for the Redskins was a pick six.
No, I'm talking about us. I'm talking about the Bucs. I remember I had texted you that there was I texted you that homeboy had just made the play of the night, and then Lufo had passed to Wilson for like 60 yards.
Yeah, it was the one that was called back. Yeah, they ruled him down on the 2 or whatever it was, on a 20 whatever, because he got up, and that resulted in a field goal, unfortunately. So
yeah, it probably could have held us the game, man. But
that pass rusher you're talking about was Wade today. So
yeah, but he was. I think he was a good tool, but pass rush needs help, bottom line. And that's a big point to make. But we did talk about that question a little bit earlier tonight. So, guys, with that being said, we will start to wrap things up here. Any last words in the live stream? We will stay live for just a few more minutes to check out. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. If you were watching the stream and you have not already, make sure you leave a thumbs up and subscribe. We hit 45 subscribers. That's absolutely awesome. We came into this stream with 39, I believe, so we did get 6 over the course of the stream. And any progress is good progress here in YouTube. You know how it is, man. It's tough to get a following out here. But iTunes, guys, if you haven't already, go subscribe on iTunes as well. We will be uploading a new episode probably tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll make sure that I get that uploaded, just because tonight I'm going to get off and go to bed because I got work in the morning. So we will be on in your ears. Oh, that sounded creepy. We'll be in your ears on iTunes. Hopefully tomorrow with the we'll call it the For the Fans episode. That's the name of the episode. That'll be uploaded. If you haven't heard it yet, it is a really, really good episode besides the preseason game talk. We did get a chance to sit down and talk with Derek Fournier, Mr. Old School himself, the founder, the man over there at whatthebuck.net. Go check him out. Also, if you have not already, make sure you follow him on Instagram at whatthebuck. Follow me on Instagram at Redicus, and follow Evan on Instagram at Bucks Football, or his personal account. If you want to throw that out there, I don't remember the numbers exactly.
Ewan, EWAN _920.
All righty, guys. So Fade said, sorry, Bucks, no more Pro Bowls. Great stream, guys. Thank you, man, for hanging out. Appreciate you guys who came in and hung out and asked us questions through all the technical difficulties. And Evan, unless you have any last words, man, I'll probably go ahead and cut it off here.
No, not really. Just yeah, it's gonna be tuned. Stay tuned for the iTunes episodes coming out. It's a really good one. Even though the Redskins talk that we did is a bit outdated.
Yeah.
Still pretty good because we just talk about how to unite the fans, and we talk about some of the guys that could make the 53, and that who knows, that episode may be out before some of these guys are cut, and it may give you some more info on them guys. So yeah, we hope that you guys enjoy it. Any sort of review, even if you don't leave a review on iTunes, don't leave a review on YouTube, whatever, you can just if you DM me and just say your thoughts on the podcast, whatever. You can DM Redicus. I'm sure you wouldn't mind. You can also follow the Twitter account, Cannon Fire Podcast, or at official is Cannon Fire. I believe is the official handle. So it was a great show. Great stream. Thanks for sticking with us. It could have been much better if we would have had I think we wasted about like a half hour or so with technical issues. But next time we do this, we'll definitely probably do this because I actually really like this format.
Yeah, I do too. It's a lot easier to follow.
Yeah, it's nice to see the reactions of you and just some of just some mannerisms that you don't really get. You don't really get over a microphone. So it was definitely fun. Like I said, I want to thank everybody for sticking with us. It was definitely probably tough. It would have been tough for me to stick with a podcast that kept having technical issues, but that's why the Bucks got the best fans in the world. They got some dedicated fans.
Yes, sir, man. You guys stuck through with us through thick and thin. We made it here at the end of the stream. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Remember to subscribe and leave a thumbs up. And if we missed any of your questions for any reason, leave it in the comment of the archived video, and then we'll go back through the YouTube commenting system. With the power of the internet, we will make sure those questions get answered because that's what we're here for. But ladies and gentlemen, I am Rhett signing off for Evan. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Have a great night. We'll see you next week. And remember, Atlanta led by 25, and go Bucks. Have a good night, guys.